I'm Izzy Swan, this is Think Woodworks, and this is a pretty crazy pocket hole jig.
One pocket hole jig to rule them all, and in the woodshop bind them.
This one right here is the one I was originally designing, and this is why it's taken about a week longer than I thought. I just wasn't happy with this. Now this one's really cool. It's a single adjustment right here. You just loosen that up, and then you can slide this up and down for different thicknesses from 3/4 on down to 1.5. Had a system mounted here with a kind of a tapered piece or an angled piece that went down in the center and a stop system. So when you moved it down, there was a stop here and it would only plunge that drill bit in deep enough for that particular thickness. So it was one simple adjustment. You adjusted here for the thickness. That also adjusted your plunge depth and your drill bit depth, so it would not go any further than it was supposed to. So it's one simple adjustment, done, go to town. The problem with this is it would have to be really bulky to be stable enough to be made out of wood. So I'm still playing with this one, but I put this one together and it's 3/4 only, but you could definitely take the plans, modify them to work for 1.5 inches as well. So if you worked with a lot of 1.5 inch material, have one that's 1.5 inches, have one that's 1/2 inch or a 3/4 inch, and go to town.
The nice thing about this being only one thickness, the 3/4 thickness, is it makes this build pretty straightforward. I've had a number of people ask me about that thing I just pulled off the wall. It's called a $10 million stick, and it's for using with your miter saw, or even the table saw it could be used for. It just keeps your fingers away from the blade when you're cutting small pieces. As far as I'm concerned, every miter saw should have one sitting right next to it. So whenever I'm doing a build, I always start with the glue ups. Any parts have to be glued up, I glue those up first, then I'll cut out the templates. And of course, if there's multiple parts that are one size, I'll just use some double-sided tape, stick them together, because I don't want to cut out two pieces. Now once the templates are on, if there's straight edges, I'll typically cut that on the miter saw. I don't want to try cutting it on the bandsaw and might have to mess it up and sand it out when I can get a good straight line once on the miter saw. And after that's done, of course, take it over to the bandsaw and do all the radial work. Another thing that really bothers me is changing bits out in my drill press. So I will cut everything, drill everything one size with one size drill bit, and then I'll switch the drill bit out and drill the other sizes. Now after everything got cut out, you just simply put it together and you're making pocket holes. So this piece of plywood right here was my test piece, and I had to make some minor adjustments after I put it together, and that's why you see the different depths. Once it was done, it worked great.
So this automatic clamping system is pretty neat. It simply works by just sticking a piece of wood in there. That pushes it down, and that gives it enough bite to hold that piece in. So as long as you have a little down pressure on it while you're going through the process, it's going to stay in place. And the really nice thing about this is you're not, if you've used a Craig machine or a pocket hole machine on hard maple or hard oak, you've really got a reef on it. With this, it's really quite effortless. You simply put it in there, pull the trigger on the drill, and then pull down, and the lever does all the work. So you're really not, pushing down like crazy to get it to cut. The lever's doing all the work, which makes this really, really cool for doing face frames with hardwoods. So that's it for today. Plans are up on the website. Along with that is a video tutorial on the build process. Just some tips and tricks to help as you're going along. And I'm definitely going to mess around with this more, try to develop the idea some more. And I've had a number of people comment on the last video I posted about this. about getting it done on a commercial level. And I will say right now that there is plans, and we're in the progress of developing a commercial version of this, and down the road a prosumer version of this where the motor is actually built right into the system and there's no drill that you have to attach. So I'm super excited about that, and of course I'll post updates as I can. I want to also mention that on the website we're doing giveaways now every 2 weeks, thanks to our sponsors and some of the donations from myself. We'll be doing that stuff over there every 2 weeks, so be sure to stop and check it out. Some of them are pretty insane. Now, if you haven't already, I posted a video about a week ago, and I'll put a link right about here or here or here, about how you can make your own step drill bit. So if you're in one of those countries or just in a place where it's really hard to get your hands on a step drill bit so you can make pocket holes, I did a video on how you can make your own. So you can literally make your own step bit, your own pocket hole machine, no matter where you're at, and be making pocket holes in furniture super fast right away. Thanks for watching. We'll talk to you soon.